So Hot Pursuit is very much an arcade game that was based solely in Seacrest County. So Need for Speed The Run is a totally different concept. It's a coast-to-coast race from San Francisco to New York. So we're not doing any fictional places. You're actually racing across the United States. So you're racing across mountains, canyons, deserts, valleys, tight city streets. And the whole concept of the game is now there's a protagonist. And so his name's Jack. And at the beginning of the game, Jack finds himself in a whole heap of trouble with all the wrong people. The only way he can get out of that trouble is to win this illicit race across the country. And that's the whole premise. So you're playing as Jack. The run itself is actually relatively linear, so it's not like, there's 5 different branches that you could take to get across the country. But that being said, within all the different routes, similar to other Need for Speed titles, there are shortcuts, and the shortcuts aren't like, 20-second shortcuts. They're considerably longer, and so you have to sort of learn the map and understand exactly where you want to go, so that can be advantageous. As of right now, we're focusing on the race from San Francisco to New York. The beauty of the run this time around is that Autolog is going to track your entire career. So you're going to know moment by moment where you are relative to the people that matter most, which are your friends. So if you're stopping at a certain checkpoint a quarter of the way along the run, you can actually see in real time how you are either ahead or behind your friends. So focus testing for out-of-car stuff has gone very well. I think at E3, people weren't sure how much of the game was actually out of car and were potentially concerned that we were going down the path of GTA. So Need for Speed is definitely a racing franchise, and we're staying true to our racing roots. In fact, out of car is only about 5 to 7% of the entire game. So it's the mechanism for out of car is to make sure that we're keeping the user engaged in the story as they go through gameplay. So instead of having this intense, exciting experience as you go through this epic race and then watching a cutscene that totally disengages you from the action that you've just experienced, you're now involved as a new way to keep the storyline going. So it's very much like little signposts along the way that are memorable, but within a much broader context of racing. Some of the out-of-car is still being developed right now based on focus testing, so it's essentially not meant to be open world by any stretch of the imagination. It's just it's quite linear, quick time events. So one of the other features in the run is that we're using the Frostbite 2 engine, which is famed coming out of DICE. It's actually an award-winning engine that Battlefield's using. So some of the advantages that offers for us are amazing particle effects for destruction of environments, as you can see that in the Battlefield trailers, that awesome graphics. As well, it allows us to stream textures in real time, which saves a lot of memory, which allows a strong frame rate for us, as well as cool visual fidelity. But then from a development perspective, it also allows rapid development, so that our developers can iterate quickly on ideas and see what works well, and if it's not there's not this huge laborious pipeline they have to go through to make sure they get the right implementation of a feature. Need for Speed The Run will be available on PS3, PC, Xbox 360, Wii, Nintendo 3DS, iPhone, iPad, globally on November 15th, 2011.